Welcome to a video of comparing the new, longly awaited Eclipse Crave. I'll be comparing it to a Cosmic Neutron, a Swirly Rim Proton, you can hopefully see the Swirly Rim, and an R2 Neutron from this past year's Jarapalooza box. A lot of MVP Eclipse plastic tends to be more overstable. We'll see if that is the case today. So let's get to the field and let's begin. So now we're in the field. I'm throwing these a bit smoother than my normal throw. So these are probably flying around the 300, 320 foot range, whereas I'm usually throwing these on max power about 350 into a headwind. You saw the Cosmic Neutron give a little bit of flip and some fade, and here's the Swirly Rim Proton. Gets on a similar angle to the Cosmic Neutron, gets a little more flip, but some fade into mostly a straight line. And then when throwing the R2, I throw it on quite a steep hyzer and it still flips and turns. Granted, there was some headwind, but it shows that's a lot less stable. And then finally, with the Eclipse Crave, again on more of a smooth throw, I throw it on a similar angle to the R2. While it does get some turn, it gets a little bit of fight back, but that's because I think I threw it on so much hyzer. Now putting some more into it, into right to left wind. The Cosmic Neutron goes straight, gets a bit of fade. And then the Swirly Rim Proton again gets a little more action, a little more turn, but still gets some stability, but not as much as the Cosmic Neutron. And then when throwing the the R2 Neutron, I throw it on quite a steep hyzer here, and it gets a good bit of flip. And it fades a little bit, but that's because I put on so much hyzer, I believe. And then the new Eclipse, I put on a bit of a lower line, and it gets me some turn, but doesn't really turn and burn, which is nice. It doesn't really cut roll despite throwing it low. So our findings seem to be that the most stable is this Cosmic Neutron, with the Swirly Rim Proton being the next most stable, and then the Eclipse seems to fit in between the Swirly Rim Proton and the R2 Neutron, as you'll see here. So the run of Crave that comes into my mind when looking at the flight of the Eclipse was the old solid color, so not the Swirly Rim, the solid colored rim Protons from a couple years ago, because I noticed that those were a bit flippier than the current Protons of the Swirly Rim. With the Swirly Rims tend to have this lighter, more see-through middle, whereas the old ones had a less transparent middle and obviously a solid colored rim. As you see me throw the Eclipse nose up, but it still gives me some turn. And so I think this Eclipse with the stability, it's filling in a gap that has been left when they, started making these Swirly Rim Protons. They kind of started, I haven't really seen them make the solid color Protons as much. So I think that's a gap that the Eclipse is going to fill. So if you really enjoyed the older runs of Proton Craves, and you can't really find them anymore because you don't like the stability of these swirl colored ones, you might want to look at this Eclipse Crave as you see me throw it way too far to the left of frame. Well, I'll admit the throws I had today, here's another throw with the Eclipse. I was a little disappointed with my throws today, but hopefully I showed that the Cosmic Neutron was the most stable, and then the Swirly Rim Proton. Oh, by the way, the weights were the Cosmic Neutron comes in at 173, I believe, while the Swirly Rim Proton is 171 grams. The R2 is 170 grams, and the new Eclipse Crave comes in at 173 grams. So, as I was saying, the most stable is the Cosmic Neutron, then you have the Swirly Rim Proton, then the Eclipse, which is a bit more flippy. Then the flippiest of them all, if you're looking for a really flippy Crave, go for the R2 Neutron. So, overall, the Eclipse did not seem to be the most overstable, which I know is typical of MVP. Whether you're disappointed by that, like I am to some extent, I've heard that the OTB soft neutron that are Craves that are coming in a month or two, I heard those are a bit more overstable. So if you're looking for like a really overstable version of a Crave, maybe wait for that, or just go for the servo. Up to you. But if you really like the solid colored rim protons and you're kind of missing that, go for the Eclipse. They fit right in. So I would say an old legend has been reborn in a different plastic, if you will. If you thought this video was informative, feel free to leave a like on it or comment down below your thoughts, what you feel. Maybe you had a different experience with the Eclipse Crave than I did. But stay tuned for some challenge videos coming during the summer as the semester is coming down to an end. I will have some free time in the summer to maybe do some tournaments, maybe do some challenge videos with buddies. That should be fun. Maybe some disc dice, maybe some Rip Revenge, something like that. Maybe some bag swaps. So stay tuned for that, and thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one. Peace.